Okay, welcome back guys. So in this video we'll look at the May-June 2023 paper 21. And again, this is going to be the 15-mark question at the end of the paper. So if we just read through this to understand what they want us to do. Okay, it says a one-dimensional or 1D array called days contains the names of the days of the week. There's also a two-dimensional array called readings, and this is used to store 24 temperature readings taken once an hour for each of the 7 days of the week. Right, there's also a 1D array called average temp, and this is used to store the average temperature for each day of the week. The position of any day's data is the same in all three arrays. For example, if Wednesday is index 4 of days, then Wednesday's temperature readings are also in index 4 of readings, and Wednesday's average temperature is in index 4 of average temp. For validation, well, yeah, the temperature readings are in Celsius to 1 decimal place, and we need to validate that they're between -20 and 50 Celsius. Now, well, this says inclusive. So when it says inclusive, this means that -20 and 50 would be allowed. Okay, so effectively, greater than or equal to -20 and less than or equal to 50. Now, if it said exclusive, right, that would mean that, well, these two values, wouldn't be allowed. So we would have to say greater than -20, right, and less than 50. But yeah, inclusive, we can use greater than or equal to, and less than or equal to. So for the actual task, well, we need to input and validate the hourly temperatures for 1 week. So I guess that's 24 hours a day for 7 days a week. Then we want to calculate and store the average temperatures for each day of the week. Right, we also want to calculate the average temperatures for the whole week. We want to convert the average temperatures from Celsius to Fahrenheit by using this formula. Then we want to output the average temperatures, right, in both Celsius and Fahrenheit for both each day, right, and also for the whole week. Alright, and then as always it says, well, we can use either pseudocode or program code. We need to add comments. And then, all of these, all of this stuff here in this kind of, sort of light font, basically they've already declared this, right, so we won't have to declare these again. And again, inputs and outputs, well, must contain suitable messages, right, all data output must be rounded to 1 decimal place. However, here it does say that we do need to initialize and populate the array days, at the start of the program. Alright, so I'm just going to show the structure that we're going to use. So here is going to be the days array, and notice that it said Wednesday is day 4. Okay, so that means that day 1 must actually be Sunday. So yeah, don't make the mistake of thinking day 1 is Monday, because of course, well, then Wednesday would be day 3, right? So it's it's a little bit weird, starting day 1 on Sunday. But yeah, I guess that's what they've chosen. Right, and then for the array, honestly, we could choose to do it the other way, where we have the days as the columns and the hours as the rows. But I think here this is easier because, well, when we're looping through an array, right, we're going to loop through the columns first. So yeah, here we're looping through the days. So we'll be, let's say day 1, right, and then it will go, well, day 1, hour 1, day 1, hour 2, or day 1, hour 3, which kind of makes more logical sense, to loop through that way. So yeah, that's what I've gone here. We're going to say days will be the rows, right, and then hours are going to be the columns, right, like this. Okay, so like it said then, first let's just input the days, just assign some values to the. Okay, so first let's do what it said and just initialize the days array. Remember to start Sunday as being day 1. So if we just go days, alright, let's go 1, and then this will be Sunday. Okay, and then I'm just going to copy this. I think, that's 7. And then, well, let's go days index 2, right, index 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And of course, just type out the days like this. Alright, let's try and spell it correctly. And like it says on the paper, right, Wednesday, just make sure that Wednesday is day 4, okay, just make sure you've, started on Sunday, and then, Wednesday should be day 4. Right, okay, so I think, yeah, that's the initialization. So then I guess what we want to do, well, then we just want to loop through and just ask them to input into the readings array. And it says, yeah, we also need to validate. Right, so here then, well, I'm just going to leave myself space again, right, just to declare some variables, right, which we might need later. So what we want to do, well, we want to loop through, well, the 7 days, and then inside that loop, we want to have, well, a nested loop. And yeah, inside the inner loop, we want to loop through the hours. Okay, so here we're just going to go day. We'll assign this to value 1, and then we'll just say, well, 27. And then I think inside here, well, it says we want a day total, because, yeah, I guess we need to calculate the average, right? So that means we're going to need a daily total. And I mean, we could declare it here, or if we want, we could just declare everything up here. So let's say maybe daily total, and let's say this will be real, because yeah, if we look here, right, we can have decimal places, and it does say, yeah, temperature readings are to 1 decimal place. Okay, so let's say, yeah, let's say we want to set the daily total to 0 on each day. Okay, yeah, just to reset this. And then I guess here we just want to calculate. And to be honest, right, I'm going to leave myself some lines because, well, maybe there's something else we want to do here. So yeah, just give yourself space, just so, you're able to go back and add things. And then, well, this will be hour 1, okay, 2 hour 24. And I think before we use the repeat until loop in order to validate user input. However, let's try today and actually use the while loop. So if we're using a while loop, well, either we have to ask an input, before the loop, and then kind of, well, while the input is invalid, then we just ask them again, right? Or we can give them a kind of invalid input to start with. So yeah, we just assign it an invalid value to start with, and then we just can kind of directly have the while loop. But yeah, I'm going to do the first method. So I mean, what that means, and it's probably easier with an example. Basically, we're gonna ask them to enter the input here. So let's say maybe, yeah, enter temperature, right, 4, and then basically I want to say, for hour 1, day 1, or something like that. Yeah, or in fact, okay, I mean, let's say, yeah, enter temperature for hour 1 on Sunday, for example. So, right, let's say hour, and then here we're going to have the hour variable, and then let's go on, okay, and then we're going to have days, and then this will be, well, the day index, okay, and then here, well, let's input this, and I think maybe let's create another variable. We'll just call it like current temp, right, or yeah, current temperature. So let's say here the current temp like this, and then we'll just have a while loop, right? So yeah, we want the invalid conditions. So I think that'll be, well, while current temp is less than -20, yeah, or right, while current temp is greater than 50. So these would be the invalid conditions. And then what we want to do here, let's just say, I don't know, maybe invalid temperature. Yeah, should be in range. Right, let's say -20 to 50. Let's just say try again, right, something like this. Yeah, then we'll just ask them to input again, and yeah, I think that should be fine. Okay, and then what we have to do, well, we then just want to kind of assign this to the readings, or yeah, the readings 2D array. So here, let's say this will be the day index, and then we just want to go hour. Right, and then I think it says we also need to round it to 1 decimal place. So if we go current temp, and then, well, the second parameter of the round function, right, is going to be the number of the number of digits to round to, right, or the number of decimal places to round to, which here is going to be 1. Okay, so let's just check. Yeah, I mean, so I think we've done this. Right, then we want to calculate and store the average temperatures for each day of the week. So, okay, here we've got daily total, which is fine. So I think here we can, yeah, okay, so let's just close this next hour, right, well, close this for loop. And in fact, right, let's also add the current temperature to the daily total. right? So this should get us the correct daily total, and well, then we just need to divide it by 24. So let's say here this will be average temp, right? Then we want the day index, because remember we want to store the daily average temperature, in this array, at the correct position. Right, and let's say again we're just going to round it, and I think what we want is going to be the daily total, right? And then we just want to go divided by 24, because of course here we've plus this for 24 hours. And again, let's just round this to one decimal place. Yeah, I think that's okay. All right, and then I think what we want to do, well, we just want to then just output this in both Celsius and Fahrenheit. So right, let's try something like this. If we go output, and we just want to say Sunday average temperature, and then the average temperature. So let's say this will be days, right? Then it will be the day index. Let's go average temperature. Here let's just say Celsius, and right, so here this is just going to be the average temp of day. Okay, so yeah, quite simple. Right, and then I'm just going to copy this, and then right, let's say this one is going to be Fahrenheit, and then I think here they say multiply by 9 divided by 5. And I mean, if you want, you can also have this in brackets, but I mean, yeah, it will also work without brackets, and then you just want to do plus 32 at the end like this. Now again, I mean, I will be explicit and just put it in brackets, just to make sure the order of operations are correct. However, this shouldn't need brackets anyway, because I guess it is going left to right, and then multiplication is higher precedence than the addition, and yeah, of course this is going to do before the addition as well. Right, so I think that's okay, and then then we just want to store the average temperatures for the whole week. So right, I think here then we're going to want another variable. Let's call this, for example, weekly total. And then what we can do, we say that the weekly total will just be, the weekly total plus the daily total. Yeah, I think that's fine. I mean, there's actually two ways we can do it, right? We could either go, the weekly total is, the weekly total plus the daily total, right? But then we would have to divide it by, 7 multiplied by 24, so whatever that's going to be. Right, or we could just do weekly total is weekly total plus the daily average temperature, and then we would just have to divide it by 7, right, because there's 7 days. But I think, I'm just going to do plus the daily total, because basically here we're going to get less rounding errors, whereas if we're plussing this average day, or the average temperature for each day, of course then we're rounding 7 times, so the rounding errors are going to become more extreme. But yeah, I think that's okay. And then if I just go next day, and then honestly, I'm just going to copy this, and then probably let's make another variable. We'll call it weekly average. Right, and then in order to calculate this, and right, note how the week we have to do outside of these 2 loops, because of course, here this is looping through all of the hours in one day. Here this is obviously looping through 7 days of the week. So yeah, when we've looped through both of those, right, that's when we've looped through all the days, all the hours. Right, so I think this one then, this is going to be this is going to be the weekly total. Right, and then we just want to divide that by 7 multiplied by 24. Because basically, this weekly total has just added up all of the hours, which of course is going to be 24 hours a day, and 7 days a week. So I think that's fine. And then if we just go weekly average here, right, and then this average temperature. Okay, hang on, sorry. Yeah, that shouldn't be the variable, right? This should just be the string. Right, so weekly average like this. Right, and then the variable should be here. Alright, so I think, maybe that might work. Is there anything we missed? And I guess actually I do need to round this one, because yeah, this has already been rounded, but I guess yeah, this one won't have been rounded. Yeah, I mean maybe we should also round this as well because we're multiplying. All right, so yeah, let's just make sure just to round this. I mean this one, you know, technically we don't need to round because well we've already rounded it here. Right, I mean let's yeah, okay. I don't know. I mean maybe let's just round it here, right, rather than doing it. Yeah, rather than doing it here, you know, and doing it here as well. Okay, and then 1. Alright, so let's just recap, check we've got everything. Right, so input and validate hourly temperatures, yeah. Calculate the average for each day, yeah. Right, the whole week. Yeah, I mean, so I think that's everything. So let's just test this, right, just to see if it works. Right, so, okay, right, so here let's just try 10. I mean, let's try and give it some invalid. Okay, you see it's gone to hour 2, which is fine. Let's try like -30. Yeah, invalid temperature. Okay, let's try 60. Again, also invalid temperature. Well, let's try 50. And okay, yeah, that goes to hour 3. Now, the problem with this, of course, is, well, this is going to take us a long time if we want to, you know, input, well, 7 days, 24 hours. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to make this kind of smaller. Let's say we've got 3 days, and here we're only taking 2 readings per day. And then, yeah, let me just make sure to update this correctly. And I think I'm just, okay, I guess I can't really do, okay, well, let's just do it like this. Or in fact, I guess here I can just easily see. Right, so let's change this 24, and this is going to be, yeah, this is going to be 2. Right, this one is also going to be 2. Okay, and I think that's, yeah, okay, and then this one here is just going to be 3, right, because this is in, well, 3 days, and then, yeah, 2 readings for each day. Right, I mean, let's try this again, and let's go something simple. Let's say maybe, I don't know, maybe 0 degrees and 20. So yeah, okay, this gives an average of 10. All right, that's correct. Let's say maybe -20 and, well, -10. Yeah, that gives -15. And then let's try 40 and 50. And this says, okay, 40 and 50. Yeah, this says 45. Right, and then the weekly average temperature is this. Yeah, which I guess, yeah, I mean, I guess that's probably correct if we do this. Alright guys, so I think, I mean, this seems to be working. And what I will actually do, I mean, obviously here we're doing just, what, 3 days and then, yeah, 2 hours. But I did also provide this test data if you want to use this. So let's say here, right, I'm just going to uncomment this. Oops, okay, there we go. Right, so this will be, well, 7 days, 24 hours each day. And then I guess what we can do, I mean, we don't need to validate this because, well, here this has been validated already. Now, obviously, in the exam, you wouldn't do this, but I mean, just, you know, just so we can test it, right, for, what, 24 hours. So right here, we don't need to input anymore. Okay, we also, yeah, I mean, we also don't need to do this assigning to the readings. But I guess what we will do is, well, this readings will be the value we're plussing to the daily total. Right, and then let's make this 24, and we'll make this 7 days. And I think this one, what this is going to be, yeah, so hang on, this was 24, right? Yeah, this one is also 24, and then the 3, that was the 7. Alright, so I think that's everything. And then, yeah, if we try and run this, okay, I mean, yeah, so that seems to work. Sunday is saying this. Yeah, and I mean, honestly, it's a bit difficult to check because, well, you'd have to, you know, add these all up manually. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure this is working. Right, now, I guess, well, the next thing then, we just want to add comments. And yeah, this shouldn't take too long. So let's say here we're just going to be initializing the days. Yeah, I guess the days array, you know, with day names. Right, I mean, let's say, yeah, declaring, you know, real variables. Right, this one is just, well, looping through each of the days. looping through all 7 days. Yeah, maybe let's say resetting daily total to 0. And then here, well, let's just say looping through 24 hours. Right, I mean, okay, hang on. Right, look, I'm just going to uncomment this because, right, current temp. Obviously, you know, in the exam, we want to use this. Well, you know, we want to use the actual real code that we would have in the exam. Or I mean, let's say here, I would say, yeah, prompt for temperature input. Right, and then this one will, let's just say validate, sort of validate temperature. Yeah, okay, let's say keep asking for temperature until in range 20 to 50. And yeah, that's well, minus 20 to 50, and that's going to be Celsius. Right, this one. Okay, let's say, well, set, and yeah, assign temperature for hour, for, you know, day, hour, yeah, and index position. And yeah, let's say add hourly temperature to daily total. Right, to daily total. Right, I mean, again, you know, how much you want to comment is sort of maybe up to you. I mean, some of these it seems a bit like unnecessary to comment this much. Right, so this one. I mean, let's say what? Yeah, assigning daily average temperature. Right, and then this one. Yeah, maybe like adding, right, all. I don't know, yeah, all daily, hourly temperatures. Yeah, 2 weekly total. So effectively, this is adding, you know, 24 readings for each day, right? Because, you know, the daily total is a sum of all 24 readings. I mean, I think here we don't really need to sort of have a comment for this output. Maybe here, so. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, let's say, yeah, weekly total, right, divided by, I mean, what is kind of like the number of readings, right, number of readings, which is, and let's say 7 days, 24 hours. All right, so again, guys, I mean, I think in this video, yeah, that's everything. Now, again, as always, if you have any questions, well, ask in the comments, ask on Discord, and yeah, hope to see you in the next video.